In 2040, humanity was on the verge of a great advancement. As a genetic engineer named James Carter, I worked in a clean lab surrounded by high-tech machinery, trying to figure out a DNA pattern that would protect our future. Beyond the laboratory, the glass city and Earth's resources were running out, despite the fact that steel skyscrapers shone beneath the sun as a tribute to human creativity. As a member of the Genesis Project, my job was to create genetic templates for Proxima Centauri b, a far-off planet, to be colonized. There was a lot of pressure because each change needed to be perfect. As I made adjustments, Margaret's voice crackled through my communication link, reminding me of the briefing I was going to miss, while I adjusted the magnification on my hollow microscope. I raced out of the lab via the sliding doors, going into a corridor that led to the next stage of human survival and out of years of research. In the briefing room, family members waited with a mixture of worry and pride on their faces. With a worried tone, my father questioned, "Are you sure about this?" "I have to be," I answered, attempting to hide my own anxiety. This was humanity's final mission, not merely a mission. Hope. We assembled at the launch pad beneath the massive colonization spacecraft Exodus, an engineering marvel built to support life for a millennia. With a hiss, the lid of my cryogenic chamber descended, allowing the icy cryogel to fill the capsule as I stepped inside. While my heart raced, there was no going back now. Margaret's voice flowed through the intercom. "See you on the other side," as I sank into stasis and realized that humanity's fate lay in the space between the stars. 600 years later, with its onboard artificial intelligence guiding it, the Exodus quietly sailed into space. As the spacecraft moved closer to Proxima Centauri b, its systems managed to maintain a precarious equilibrium, protecting its priceless cargo, thousands of colonists in cryogenic sleep. Everything appeared normal up until the alarms went off, smashing the quiet. Imminent collision. The serene voice of the AI declared, "Asteroid belt detected." The hull creaked with the force of the collision, causing the ship to tremble uncontrollably. The landscape was engulfed in a red glow as emergency lights flickered on. Sparks burst from the panels, and the crew, who was in charge of the voyage, hurried to save the ship. A large asteroid slammed the ship's core, driving shock waves through the hull despite their best attempts. One system at a time, the AI started an emergency process in a last-ditch effort to salvage what it could. The cryogenic capsule was sent into the frigid depths of space, along with multiple others. Floating asleep into the unending blackness, the last thing I remembered was how alone I felt, with just the faraway stars glittering around me. Both humanity's and my fate rested on it, in the balance, lost in space's obscurity. 50 years later, an exquisite and strange alien ship with a streamlined design sliced through the darkness of space. My floating capsule was discovered by the extraterrestrial scientists inside, who were keeping an eye on their instruments and looking for oddities. The ship changed direction, and they managed to carefully recover the brittle craft. When I opened my eyes to a blurry world. My body felt like it was immersed in lead-heavy and unresponsive. My vision cleared slowly, and I saw faces that were clearly not human, with their angular features, big, expressive eyes, and skin shimmering in the gentle golden light. A person with stunning silver hair walked up, putting a gadget up to my throat. "Are you able to comprehend me?" she inquired, her tone forceful yet kind at the same time. With a dry throat, I managed to get out. "Yes." "Where am I?" "You're on Vea," she answered back. "My name is Chief Scientist Serafina. Your capsule was spotted drifting in, area." I made an attempt to sit up, but Serafina nudged me back down. "Take a nap. You've spent a long period in a state of stasis." Days drifted by in a fog of recuperation. Gradually, my strength returned, and with it, the entire burden of my circumstances. I found myself encircled on an unknown planet by entities who piqued my curiosity just as much as my own. The Vons, as they referred to themselves, were a society of only women, each more flawless and mysterious than the next. They observed me with a mixture of deeper interest, possibly hope and scientific inquiry. Their leader, Queen Arara, paid a visit, her commanding yet caring presence on me. "There is a serious issue facing our civilization," she said. "There hasn't been a birth in the last 80 years. We think that you could be the key to our survival." The magnitude of what they were requesting became clear to me as I listened. My understanding of genetics, the precise reason a whole extraterrestrial culture may have given up on me during the Exodus. The Vons showed me their world, which is filled with cutting-edge technology and amazing beauty, while I was getting better. Elevated structures composed of metal and crystal reached the heavens, linked by suspended passageways. Water flowed in patterns that defied gravity, and gardens full of colorful exotic flora grew. But even with the breathtaking scenery, there were no kids, and it felt very wrong. The Von society suffered greatly from the quiet of their missing youth. As Queen Arara and I spent more time together, our talks became more intimate and in-depth. She talked about how much strain there was on her as the head of a fading society, yet I told tales of Earth and the aspirations that had propelled humanity into space. We started to share a connection that went beyond our differences. Serafina and I put in a lot of effort in the lab while we analyzed my DNA and compared it to the Vons. The outcomes were encouraging. Perhaps my genetic variety can help them overcome their infertility obstacles. But as we approached a resolution, the Council's discord increased. Not all of them believed that I, an outsider, could help their people. One evening, Serafina and I were looking through old records when we made a shocking revelation. The Exodus disaster wasn't an accident. It was the result of intentional sabotage. Before we departed Earth, there had been tampering with the ship's navigation system. This realization really got to me. Our goals and aspirations had been compromised from the beginning. But throughout this disclosure, I discovered a hidden letter from my earthly comrade Margaret. She had succeeded in gathering information that might be essential to resolving the Vons' reproductive problems. Piecing together a possible answer, Serafina and I went through the data with a newfound sense of resolve. While we were getting ready to use the new technology, the weight of accountability bare down on me. Our success would determine the Vons' destiny and possibly the history of humanity. Via's mood changed from one of hopelessness to cautious optimism. Though the road ahead was unclear, there was hope for the first time in the gloom. Subscribe to watch more amazing sci-fi stories.